Welcome everyone. This is second video in bivariate analysis. So in the second video, so I'm going to discuss about the basics of regression analysis. Why we are using the regression analysis? What are the different types of regression analysis? And what are the different methods to calculate the regression equation? So first, regression analysis. So regression analysis defined as a technique for deviation of an equation by which one of the variable, the independent variable, may be estimated from other variable that is independent variable. In regression analysis, the main purpose of using this analysis to identify the impact of two variables. That is independent on dependent variable, dependent on independent variable. Main purpose to identify the impact of two variables. In correlation analysis, the correlation tells you the relationship. What is the relationship? Whether positive relationship, negative relationship, or no relationship. But in the regression analysis, what is the impact of independent variable on dependent variable and dependent variable to independent variable. In regression analysis, the equation of regression equation is y equals a plus bx plus error term, that is u. Y is the dependent variable and a is constant or intercept plus b is the slope and x value is the independent variable and u is the error term. So why we are using this equation? Mainly to predict or to forecast the other variable using any one variable, we are predicting the other variable. So for this purpose, we are using the regression analysis to forecast the dependent variable. We are using the regression analysis. Now, one example, regression analysis makes possible to infer or predict the another variable on the basis of one or more variable. If we are using only one independent variable, then it's a simple regression. If we are using three independent variable, in that case, multiple regression. More than two independent variables, that is multiple regression. So you can see these three are independent predictors. One is the education, other one is the time, the weekly hours time, and the age. So to predict the dependent variable, so what salary can be expected by one person? So we can predict using this education how much hourly he is working, and based on his age. So these are all independent variables, and salaries are dependent variable. The salary is dependent on these three things. Now, to predict or to calculate or to forecast this, so we are using the regression analysis. The measurement of influence of one or more variable on another variable. So influence of one or more variable on another variable, or to predict by a variable or one or more other variable. So that is why we are using the regression analysis. In regression analysis, so this is the regression equation. Normally, we have three types of calculation the regression equation. One is regression equation using the least square method. The another one is regression equation using square deviations, and the last one using the coefficient using the correlation. The first one, regression equation using the least square method. So the regression equation on y on x. So y on x. So there is a two variables, that is y and x variable. So now y is a dependent variable, x is a independent variable. So now to calculate this regression equation, that is y c equals a plus bx. Y is a dependent variable, a is an intercept or constant, plus b is a slope, and x value is the independent variable. If we give any independent variable after calculating these two parameters a and b, so if we give any value to x value, any number to the x value, so automatically y will be calculated. So A, to calculate the A and B, so unknown parameters, so the formula is so sigma y equals n number of variables plus multiplied by A plus B sigma x, and this is one equation. The another equation is sigma xy equals A sigma x plus sigma B multiplied by sigma x squared. So if you simplify these two using two series, x and y series, if you simplify this equation, you will calculate a and b. So using these two parameters, a and b, so we can predict the dependent variable y. It's the same equation on x and y. So here x is a dependent variable, y is a independent variable. So now to simplify this equation to calculate A and B parameters. So this is the equation one, like this is the equation two. So sigma x equals n multiplied by A plus B multiplied by sigma y is the first equation. Second equation is sigma xy equals A multiplied by sigma y plus B multiplied by sigma y square. So to simplify these two equations, we can calculate A and B parameters. Then based on this A and B parameters, if you give any y value, automatically x value will be calculated. Then regression equation through coefficients. When if here there are two methods, one is actual mean and assumed mean. So actual mean and assumed mean. So when deviations are taken from actual mean, so when we are using the actual mean value, for calculating the regression equation, then the regression coefficient is x on y equals the y minus y bar equals b b y x multiplied by x minus x bar. So now how to calculate b? So when we are taking actual mean, how to calculate b? B x y y x equals sigma x y divided by sigma x square. So when in case directly they have given standard deviation, when they have given standard deviation, so B equals R multiplied by standard deviation of Y divided by standard deviation of X. Then same for X on Y, the formula is X minus X bar equals B xy multiplied by Y minus Y bar. So how to calculate B xy? So xy to calculate sigma xy divided by sigma y square. When the standard deviation is given, so sigma the calculation of B xy equals R, that is correlation multiplied by standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So when there is a assuming, so how to calculate the same equation? Now we need to calculate the b value. So bxy to calculate, this is the equation, and to calculate b xy, this is the equation. Then the third and the last method to calculate the regression coefficient using the correlation coefficient. So correlation coefficient equation. So R equals the square root of b yx multiplied by b xy. Thank you.